We all have those moments when we look up to the deep dark sky and see the twinkling of all the stars, and then gaze at a bright object that doesn't twinkle and realise that it's actually a planet. And then you ponder the unlimited majesty of the universe and the amount of planets that are out there, which surely must be teeming with some form of life around all those stars. Until you look back inwards and see how infinitesimal we are in the broad spectrum of the grand scheme of things. And what exactly is the grand scheme? Why are we even here? Is there a reason? A grand designer who wants us to serve a purpose? As far as science is concerned, we simply do not know. So, could it be that we are nothing more than crop? Do we simply exist only to be harvested by a greater being? Perhaps we live and die over generations while this greater being awaits our demise, and when we die, they devour our souls. But why does this so-called greater being exist, and what is their purpose? Okay, now this is getting silly. That's fascinating videos are always only matter-of-fact educational videos, not silly conjecture. Yes, that is true, but stick with it. As in this episode, we thought we would try something a bit experimental and different and serve up more questions than answers, as we often ponder these random things, and we would love to know what theories you may have. So have at it in the comments below. Throughout human history, people have always believed in some form of higher being existing in some fashion. Most likely because it brought us comfort thinking that there is someone looking over us because we simply didn't know the unknown. So perhaps the elders told the stories to help explain this unknown and bring some logic and meaning. And these stories over time became law in religion. But does that mean religion is man-made, a simple construct of our imagination to create some order from chaos? Or was it a method for a small group to maintain self-regulation of the masses, with the idea of fire and brimstone in the afterlife, helping people to live a less savage life and create a better society? I mean, it's possible for people to live a decent life and be a good human without a religion. Or is it nothing to do with that, and instead more sinister and is more of a way to create wealth and control? Any cynic will say, of course, if you look at all major religions, they generate vast amounts of revenue and control the majority of all humans that live today and that have ever lived. But it doesn't mean that it's only a force for bad. Often people use traditions, rituals and religion as a form of understanding and explanation, and it certainly helps people to deal with grief and trauma. It also helps people navigate life and gives them a purpose, as well as providing comfort with the idea that there is more to it than this very finite mortal life. Perhaps that stands for something, but does religion help explain the reason for the universe and why it exists? I'm sure the simple answer would be yes. God created it to allow a space for us humans to worship him. But why does God need worshipping? And who made God in the first place? Is God the greater being we mentioned previously? Again, this is just an open thought process, and so I'm sure a scholar will have many abstracts of text from their respective holy books with answers to everything mentioned. So let's move on to science for a moment and bounce back and forth. Can science do any better? What current science explains is that it all started from a Big Bang. The Big Bang didn't happen in a single place because it was a moment in space-time, and so it happened and created everywhere. But what sparked the Big Bang and what was before it? We can go on forever to say it was a multiverse situation with membranes, and when a membrane collides, it creates another universe. But what made all that? And so back to God. Can it be explained with a God and say that God sparked the Big Bang? But again, what made God? Or is it all just a simulation? And if it is, then again, why? Perhaps our purpose is to just be characters in this simulated game. But then, who is playing the game and how did they get there? At this point, it's obvious that we simply do not know. So, what is the point? What's the point in all existence? Perhaps nihilism is correct and nothing matters. And if nothing matters, then what's the point? Humans continue to advance and innovate. We all strive to grow wealthier, live longer. Perhaps one day we figure out unlimited energy. We conquer space and expand to multiple planets. The universe is such a big place to explore, but somehow we reach the end of the universe. Along the way, we didn't even find anyone. Perhaps that makes us special. But what's the point in being special, as there always has to be a first anyway? But we are here at the end and the first. Now what? Now, do we just wait? Wait for what? Why did we strive so hard to get here? But if we did find alien life, who created them? Maybe they have the answer, or perhaps they are looking for the same answer. What if they have a religion too? What would an alien religion even look like? Would it be exactly the same as what we have here on Earth, considering God created the universe and everything inside it? Surely they would have to have the ability to communicate and read the same holy text. But what if they have their own random assortment of religions? Wouldn't that just confirm that religion is man-made and alien-made? A fabrication to suit the local narrative? Or what happens if a single and exact religion cropped up time and time again across the universe and is followed by all sorts of different alien life forms? That would surely mean that is the one true religion. And no doubt an advanced alien species has their own folklore of monsters, demons, and aliens too. Other beings existing in parallel plane alongside us, like demons and angels. And talking about demons and angels, what about heaven and hell? What's the point of these even existing? An eternity of torture in hell, but for what purpose? No, seriously think about it. Easy answer is they did something awful so deserve to be punished. But at this point, they are dead anyway? Or an eternity in heaven, but again, why? Surely even in heaven, you would eventually get bored. And if it's a magical place where you simply cannot get bored and it's forever bliss, then you're no longer a human in heaven, you're something else. Because humans get bored. But the idea of a heaven is comforting to many. You get to see your loved ones again. That must be a good reason to be good, right? But let's say you lose your parents and you want to be together again in heaven. But then your parents want to be with their parents, but their parents want to be with their parents. And it just goes on like that in a massive chain. Would it mean it's just a massive room with thousands of your relatives all catching up? So let's say at most you want your parents and grandparents, but in your grandparents' heaven, they want the exact same setup, in which case it will not include you or your parents. But to allow everyone to have their own perfect scenario of heaven would mean that the whole process would need to be simulated to allow every scenario to exist simultaneously without compromising anyone. If so, this will mean the whole concept of heaven is simulated to be your perfect idea and not a case of truly meeting that person. So does that mean it's all a simulation? And once again, we get stuck in the loop. Who made the simulation and who made the thing that made the simulation? This is all a bit exhausting because there never seems to be a point in existing or existence. Or is there? Perhaps the whole point of existing is to exist. It's all about self-preservation. Look at the animal world. As far as we understand it, they don't have existential dread. Even though from a higher plane of intelligence, we can see them as all serving a purpose, living their lives, being part of the delicate ecosystem of life, bringing balance to the world, but to them, they are just preserving themselves, procreating and existing. In our day-to-day lives, the grander point of existing simply doesn't matter. Regardless of if there is a point to it or not, we carry on. We behave and follow the rules. Unless you're a psychopath or sociopath, you follow rule and order and do your best to be harmonious with the world around you. Because ultimately, everyone, whether they are selfless or not, they want to stay alive, they want to live, they want to preserve themselves the best that they can to live out their finite life for as long as possible, possibly have children and even leave a legacy. But ultimately one day, the most remembered will be forgotten. So even though it may feel like there is no point, the point may actually be to live in the now, build a life of happiness, follow the rules of society, work smart to give yourself the options to be free and enjoy this fleeting moment in time.